Well, glory to God. Welcome once again to Power of Faith. I'm Pastor Philip Derber with your family of Faith Victory Church right here in the capital city of Frankfort, Kentucky. And just delighted to be able to share with you the truths of God's Word once again. Luke 1:37 says, "For with God nothing shall be impossible." And I want to welcome you to a special edition of Power of Faith. Yes, it's testimony session time. And I have in the studio with me my son and my daughter in the faith, Mike and Rafael Hieatt. Mike, welcome.
Thank you.
Rafael, welcome.
Thank you.
We're gonna have a good time, and we're gonna bust the devil in his mouth.
That's right.
We're-
Amen.
Amen.
Jesus said we bruise his head with our heel, and the testimony of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. And I've been around the block in Christianity for a while, and what I've discovered is a lot of Christians don't want to share their testimony. They'll listen to somebody else, but they don't want to share their own.
All right.
And but we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of our testimony.
Amen.
So, I've been interviewing a lot of the members in our church here, and it's just interesting finding out how our upbringing shapes us, whether good or bad. And I was raised in a Christian family, and there wasn't nobody smoking, drinking, cussing. Went to church every time the doors were open, but yet I get locked up 20 times, looking at 21 years in the penitentiary. How does that happen? And then I know people that in a divorce situation, mom or dad on drugs or whatever, and they never got into anything.
Right.
They just stayed. So, it's all different things go on in somebody's mind. So, Rafael, we're going to start with you, all right? What kind of family was you raised in?
I had a good family. No drugs, no alcohol, no drinking. I grew up a little Baptist with my grandmother. I would go to church here and there when we weren't in Ohio. But other than that, just I had a normal family.
Any brothers and sisters?
I would have to count 5 sisters.
My goodness.
Not either like 3 have the same dad, 2 have,
Okay.
we're not full. And my first sister, I think I was 13 years old. So
Okay.
I was only child up to 13.
Okay. So, you went to church then as a child with your grandma? Is that what you
With my grandmother. And then when I got a little older, I tried all kinds. I would go with neighbors. I'd done a little Catholic, a little
Mhm.
Jehovah,
Mm-hmm.
a little bit all. Just wherever someone went, I went.
Huh.
Not knowing.
Right. Was you aware of God? Did you believe in God? Or,
I did, but not like the real God.
yeah.
How I do now. It was a lot different, and I basically I think I just went just to go with friends, just to go.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know. I didn't get taught what I get taught here, so tithing and any of that. I didn't know about any of that growing up.
What about school?
I went to Western or high school here, and
What about grade school?
yeah, grade school, high school, all Frankfort.
All Frankfurt.
Yeah,
Did you like school?
no.
Was you good in school?
I mean, I was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't bad. I wasn't a bad kid, but
Mm-hmm.
I quit school at a young age. I was 16.
So you didn't graduate?
I didn't. I got a GED, but that was later on in life.
Mm-hmm. Mm. What was the reason you quit?
'Cause I got pregnant
Okay.
at 17.
Okay. That'll put the brakes on,
Yeah.
right? So obviously you had a boyfriend.
I had a boyfriend at a young age. I was 12. The same one till I was like 18, on and off.
So how old was you when you became sexually active?
13.
13. And then at 17 you got pregnant, or 16? 17?
16.
16.
Yeah. I had him at 17.
And what did you do with the child?
I raised him.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, I worked and I still lived at home with my mom, but I raised him.
What kind of work were you doing?
I worked at a restaurant.
Waitress?
No, just like fast food.
Oh, okay. Okay. Where's God at? You know, you having a child. Did you?
Yeah, no, I didn't have, that all ended about 13. I quit going when I started doing the things, that I shouldn't be doing.
Did you get into drinking or anything?
If my friends did, I might join them, but not really, no.
Yeah. Okay. We're gonna put you on pause.
Okay.
Mike,
Yes, sir.
what kind of family was you raised in?
Well, when they say we was born into sin, they wasn't lying. It was just off the hook, straight sin as far as I can remember back. Drugs,
Your parents?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
My mother and my stepfather. My mother and my real father split up when I was 2.5. I was born in St. Pete, come back to Frankfurt, and I don't remember a whole lot. I think maybe about 6, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
And and I knew my lifestyle before then. That's how they were. Nothing. I just know by knowing they just had always like that. But I started seeing what was going on.
That's 6 years old.
Yeah. It was just, open your room late at nights, come all smoky, loud music, people laying out on the floor, drunk or whatever they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Just me going to the bathroom, going back in my.
And there's a party going on.
Yeah, always, nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
That was just always. That's just how it was.
Did you have brothers and sisters?
I had two stepbrothers,
Okay.
which was from the man my mother married, and he kind of favored them more than me, and he would involve them into the kind of drug activity as far as smoking weed and drinking, and that's my two stepbrothers, and I looked up to them. It's like, I want to do that because that's all I knew. It's going on around me, so I'm like, I just thought that's how life was.
So at 6 years old, you're seeing all this, and you're thinking, "Hey, this is what you do."
Yeah, it was just the way it was.
So how young were you when you started getting involved in that kind of activity?
I would say probably around 9, 10, somewhere in there. I remember, wanting them to pass a joint to me,
Mm-hmm.
and they would let me hit it every now and then and just laugh about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got to a point, I didn't really drink any, but when everybody was passed out, like 10, 11, I remember going in the ashtrays
Mm-hmm.
looking for roaches, or
Mm-hmm.
I'd be outside and I could smell that whoever's smoking, and I would just watch them
Mm-hmm.
for, a fire to go out the window. If not, I knew it was in their ashtray
Yeah,
or it was on the ground. It's how it all started,
a kid.
Yeah.
Right. What about school?
I went to school, when I was in first or second grade, my parents put me in a Methodist home because they were strung out on dope, heroin, whatever, and
Methodist home being.
it was in Versailles.
Yeah, but what you're talking about is like a foster care system.
Yes. And I stayed there and just.
How old was you when that?
I think I was like 7 or 8.
So, wow. The only home life you know is drugs,
Right.
and now your parents put you in a home,
Right.
right? That's got to be messing with your head, right?
It really didn't, because it's just the way life was. So
You
I
didn't know
didn't know
any
any different. So that's just the way it is.
Mm.
So really it didn't. I was just going with the flow.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just God just helped me out through it, to not to see it, to not be crying, because nothing really bothered me.
Mm.
I just thought that's how it was, and this is what we're doing.
So but you were still going to school.
Yes, I went to school in Versailles, and as growing up, I lived out in the country for a long time, up a couple counties away, and that's all I knew was country life, just going out running in the woods, whatever, and just being at the parties and just doing whatever. And I think it was around 3rd grade, we moved to town here in Frankfurt, and I started seeing how that was, and I did good in school, all through school. I passed, all my grades were passing, And my mom was proud of me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Did you graduate?
no, I got to my sophomore year and failed and dropped out and got my GED right then though, because I didn't want to forget nothing.
Was you the older you got, was the drugs getting heavier?
Oh yeah, by the time I was 12, I was selling weed on a basis, and I was either taking it off my stepdad when I didn't have it to, because they stayed in that lifestyle and I knew where their stuff was. So whenever I would sell it or didn't have money, I would just get it for them. But then I started getting into selling it at an early age, and then I was, kind of partnering up with the people that he would get it from. They would give it to me, a couple ounces a week, and I was selling it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got into LSD.
Mm-hmm.
I'd done quite a bit of that before I was 15. More than anybody should ever do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and and just again looking up to my brothers because I'm watching them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wanting to be like that, just hang out in an older crowd. I always hung around people older than me.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you drop out of high school and you're dealing drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And what, do you get a job or anything, or?
No, I really didn't start working until about 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the construction.
So you just from the time you drop out till construction time, you're just
It's partying,
partying.
wide open, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
And they never gave me a curfew from as long as I can remember. So I would just come and go as I please, pretty much do whatever I want.
so how long was you in that home?
And my mom's?
No.
For about 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
2 months. I almost got adopted
Mm-hmm.
from a woman named she owned a big horse farm in Lexington, a well-known horse farm,
Mm-hmm.
and had a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
And she took me into her house, and where my mind was so offensive and ready to, no obedience was at all. Her son took the brush from me when we was getting ready, and I punched him in the nose and busted his nose. I'm 7 years old and blood was everywhere, and it kind of ended that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Yeah. So my mom comes back and gets me, and everything's supposed to be all good. Go back home, and nothing's changed. Matter of fact, it's worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm starting to see things now, and I'm seeing things. So I don't know if I seen it was always bad, or if it just had gotten worse.
Mm-hmm.
But it never changed.
Wow. Okay. Rafael, so you're pregnant and you have this child, right? And you're living with your mom, correct?
Correct.
Working in a restaurant.
Yes.
So what's going through your mind? You're a single parent. You're 17, 18 years old, got your life in front of you. What are you processing?
I don't really know.
Just taking one day at a time?
Yeah, I just was living, I guess you would say.
Still not going to church or anything like that?
No.
Do you have any Christian friends?
No. I just always wanted a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted a family.
Mm-hmm.
That's what my desire was. And then I met another person, and I got pregnant again at 18.
Okay.
And I had an abortion.
Oh, boy.
Because I didn't mean to get pregnant that time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of when I started really looking like I want to settle down. I want to have a family. I want something in life.
Something stable.
Then I met Mike, which wasn't stable.
Yeah. But how old was you then?
I was 19.
19 when you met Mike.
Mm-hmm.
How'd you meet him?
He was going out with one of my friends.
Okay. So let me get this right. You already have a child.
Mm-hmm.
You're living at home.
Mm-hmm.
All you want is a stable family. That's what you're thinking, right?
That's what I wanted.
That's what you wanted. And you met this other guy and got pregnant, and you had an abortion.
I always seemed to choose the wrong
guy.
the wrong guy.
Well, without God, it's hard to make right choices. Period. But what did abortion? How did abortion? What did it
That was
do?
horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was horrible. Because I already knew the sex of the child. I was almost 5 months pregnant.
Oh my. Yeah.
So, because I kept going back and forth, not wanting to, because I knew it was wrong in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I knew that I couldn't do it. I felt like I couldn't take care of another baby, having one that was just 2
Mm-hmm.
and no help.
So-
Because I knew the father wasn't going to be there.
Right. So you meet Mike through a girlfriend.
Well, kind of. They weren't together, and it was just some friends one night. We were making prank calls, doing the little girl stuff, and I called Mike, and he was like, "I know who you are." He remembered my voice.
So
then-
you had met at a party or something, or just knew each other?
No, he had went out with one of my friends in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really know him, but I only met him like once.
Mm-hmm.
But
But he remembered.
he
your
remembered
voice.
my voice.
I remembered her as soon as she started speaking. I was like, I know who this is.
Okay.
Then I hung up on him.
Prank call. So, okay. So you Mike, she calls you up with a prank call. You know who she is. So does that trigger anything inside you? Or?
Well, not really, because just dating women was part of everything else. You try to date as many as you can. And
Right.
So it was just another thing. I never thought it would turn out to be what it has been. Having kids, and all that. I never pictured that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I never thought that.
So when did you guys officially hook up, as far as going out together or whatever?
Like 3 days later, we met up and went to the expo.
Okay.
And then a week later, I moved in.
Yeah. So do you know that he's doing all these drugs?
Well, he wasn't doing drugs. He wasn't. When I met him, he really wasn't doing any drugs, like no pills, no smoking weed. He had stopped. But he was drinking, and I didn't know
I
that
was drinking and doing the cocaine.
at that time.
Yeah.
So that could be hid a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I didn't know any of that until I got in there.
So you move in with Mike 3
Mhm.
days later,
About a week later,
about a week later, with your child.
with my child.
So, Mike, this is different from the other girls. You got this one moved in,
Right.
right?
Right.
So what you thinking?
Well, I'm just going along for the ride. We got along. We was up and down fighting, but as far as having fun with her,
Down fighting. I
we was
understand.
up. We was up one minute and down the next.
I
But we
get
got
it.
I
along.
was
I
actually
don't know if
used
that
at
makes
first.
sense. Well, I
Because he
didn't.
wasn't ready to be serious.
I
but
wasn't
I was.
trying to use her.
Yeah.
If you got a girl, like, hey, there's the money, there's a ride, there's a car. I didn't have a car at the time, so it was just part of it. It's not like I intentionally set out, hey, this is what I'm going to do to this
Yeah.
person. It's just the way you flowed in a heathen kind of lifestyle with
Mhm.
bouncing from woman to woman.
Mhm.
So
So you guys are living together, and how long before you discover that? Wait a minute, he does more than drink.
Oh, quick.
I
Probably.
think people told you that.
Oh, yeah, but people were telling
him.
me, get away from him. He's not for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because they knew that I wasn't really bad. I was never bad. I was just what you would call normal. A
Normal sinner. You're
Yeah,
a normal
normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I chose to stay.
So you guys are living together. You're still working at the restaurant?
No, I think I might not be doing nothing at this time.
So are you working or dealing?
I was working part time.
I was on
and off.
welfare,
Okay.
getting,
I would
food
do
stamps and.
pretty much least what I could do just to have money to get food. Then she started, having the food stamps and stuff, and housing was paid. And I'm like, well, I can just sit back and chill and just work, get enough money to party on or whatever. And it wasn't the fact that I was trying to hustle. Then it was just have money to party on.
Mm-hmm. And you guys are what, 20, 21 years old at this time, something like that?
Yes.
Then I get
Kids.
pregnant.
Then you end up what?
Then I get pregnant.
Okay. Now we got another factoring in. So you get pregnant. You tell Mike you're pregnant, right? What's going through your head?
Well, I'm kind of excited.
Okay.
I didn't think I could have kids.
Mm.
It's because, I'd been with a number of women and none of them was ever pregnant. So like, well, I just can't have kids. So,
Mhm.
And when they said it, I was kind of happy in a certain sense, but I was overwhelmed too, But I wasn't like, no, I don't want that. I was like, okay, we're gonna have a baby then.
Was you happy about it?
I just was pregnant.
You just going with it?
Yeah, I really didn't think. I mean, I was happy. I didn't want another abortion, but it still was, my life wasn't right with him, and I knew it wasn't going right.
Mm-hmm. Well, without God, you
Right.
know, it ain't gonna go right.
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 Even if you're made for each other,
Right.
right? And so, I mean, it's astounding how you guys are together in Jesus now. Versus how you started out. You've heard my testimony, me and Mama Alberta. I mean,
Right.
I contemplated knocking her off
Right.
and getting rid of it.
Him and his mother had thoughts of that with me.
Well, my mom did, but there were some
That
instances
talked to him about it.
There were some instances come up that I was drunk one night and thought that I did actually.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I left the house and was thinking she's dead. And I'm like, here we go. I'm going to penitentiary.
Mhm.
I was on pills and drinking whiskey and just anytime pills and whiskey are involved, that's that was my main. I had 93 charges.
Mhm.
Right when I got with her, I had like 93 charges, and that was from I don't know, 12 years old. I was doing time in the county jail down 11. They put me on the grown up to try to scare me. I was in so much trouble.
Mhm.
So in the meantime, I'm in all this trouble. I spent a lot of time in detention too, growing up, and in jail in and out. Right when I was 18. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's different how we both got together, and this happened. Because we're night and day difference.
Yeah. So, you're pregnant. You have the baby, right? Now you got a baby. You still partying.
Mm-hmm.
You know he's partying now.
But I feel trapped.
Yeah, and you're living with this guy who's fathered your child here, and now you know that what those people were warning you about is right, but yet something makes you stay.
Because I didn't have nowhere else to go.
Mm-hmm.
I had 2 kids. My mom didn't have the space. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she would have let me.
But you're not married at this time.
Not when we had her, no. But we did get married about a year later.
About a year later,
Yeah.
you decided to tie the knot. Right.
I don't know if it was because you didn't have nowhere to go, because a lot of time I would leave and you'd be looking for me. And you'd pop up. So it wasn't just like, there was something there holding us together. It wasn't just,
Yeah, it was both.
there was
I didn't
always
wanna
something.
leave either.
Or she would leave and I'd go find her. Just something kept us together on both
Alberta and
ends.
myself were the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, we could not. We tried to leave each other, and it's just seemed. People praying for you,
Right.
and destiny calling, and there's all kinds of things that factor in.
Right.
And our time has gotten away from us today, so we're going to have to pick this up tomorrow and get you all saved.
Right.
Amen.
We got to
Amen.
get you all saved.
Right.
But you may be listening today, and your marriage or your relationship that you're in is just chaotic. Well, I got good news for you. There's a helpline down at the bottom of the screen. People that have been raised up under this ministry that have had difficulty in their marriages will answer that phone for you. And you may in your mind be done. I'm finished. Or you may feel like Rafael, just trapped. And just there's no place I can go. You may be in an abusive marriage where you're fearful for your life. Call that helpline. Call it. Don't hesitate. Get on there and call that helpline and tell them, I need prayer for myself. I need prayer for my kids. I need prayer for my marriage. I need help. And when you do that, God hears the cry. I'm telling you, God hears the cry. When you really cry out from your heart, and He'll guide you and He'll lead you in the right direction for your life. I've seen it happen over and over. I watched it happen in their life, and we'll find out about that tomorrow, how God intervened in their life. But you don't want to miss tomorrow. But our time's gotten away from us today. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 4 says, where the word of a king is, there is power. Be a blessing.
Power of Faith programs are available on YouTube 24/7, so you can watch from anywhere at any time. Search for Power of Faith on YouTube or go to youtube.com/Power of Faith. Subscribe and click the bell to make sure you're notified whenever new episodes are posted. If you missed the episode, or you just want to go back and watch it over and over again, the Power of Faith YouTube channel is there for you.